Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sonny and Cher.
You know, these days when you hear a song you like, you sometimes have trouble understanding the words. And that's too bad because sometimes there's difficulty.
This is us trying to do an introduction to Raymond Burr, and it's actually my favorite thing that we've ever done.
Hi.
It's just us standing there against nothing, just being ourselves, and it's exactly the way we were with each other from almost the beginning till the end.
You know, these days when you hear a song you like, you sometimes have trouble understanding the words. And that's too bad because there are really some beautiful lyrics written. You know, these days when you hear a song you like. No, we got it. I would have zipped right in. Don't even slate it. You know, these days when you hear a song you like, you sometimes have trouble understanding the words.
I know these halls like the back of my hand. For years, Sonny and I used to walk down this hallway on our way to the Sonny and Cher show. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about all the great things that happened to us here. I brought some photo albums, some diaries, old videos. I even dug up some old costumes. But tonight is about Sonny Bono and all the people who loved him. Now, here's Studio 31. This is where we used to work. And if you follow me in here, I think you're going to like what you see.
Tonight, reflections on their life together. Sonny and me. Cher remembers.
When I was little, I wanted to be famous. I went to see Dumbo when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I wanted to be in animated films. Then I found out later that you can't be in animated films, and so I thought I would just be famous. When I was 11, I started practicing my autograph. I had the same autograph that I have now. If I hadn't met Son, I always thought I would have been a bank robber. I had like raw energy, but I didn't have any direction. You know, when I met Son, he had been trying to be in show business for 10 years. I was 16, he was 28, and I really didn't know what I was doing ever, you know, even for a long time after that, even today, possibly. Son was about 6 when he had his first taste of showbiz. He played Big Chief Foot in the Aisle in a grammar school play. In the mid-40s, his folks moved to California from Detroit. His dad was Sicilian, and his mom was a second-generation Italian. They were old world strict. While Son was going to Inglewood High, he bought a set of second-hand bongo drums that he played with a group he'd put together. He also got suspended from school for bringing in the first all-black rock and roll band for the high school prom. The first song Son ever wrote was on a ukulele. It was called Ecstasy. Thank God I didn't know him when he played the ukulele. What I do remember is this piano. One day he called me and he said, Cher, I've got this fabulous thing, a big surprise, I'm bringing it home. So of course I was thinking it was something for me. And what he did bring home was this old, scratchy, ugly piano. And he said, no, Cher, you don't understand. It's a great deal. I only paid $85 for it, and it only has 3 broken keys. Well, he sat there, and over the next months, he wrote Baby Don't Go, Just You, and I Got You, Babe. And I never saw him so happy as when he was sitting at this piano. Baby, don't go. He was the worst piano player in the universe. He played like this, and he only knew 3 chords. And so he would play with one finger, and then he would make his chords with that hand. And he knew his artistry wasn't fabulous, but his personality was so great. So it was a combination of artistry, personality, and ambition, and the 3 kind of went together hand in hand.
When we got together, we sort of generated each other. She was my inspiration. And it was just something that worked, you know, something that was right. And we pursued the music business, and here we are, knock on wood.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Son. It was at a restaurant called Aldo's. You know, like in West Side Story, when Tony and Maria meet, it was like that. Everybody kind of went into soft focus, and there was Sonny, and he just looked, I don't know, it's like you meet people, but nothing really happens. But when I saw him, something happened. And so he and I kind of became, not friends, I annoyed him. And then I got kicked out of my apartment because there were too many girls living in it. And he said, you know what, I don't find you particularly attractive, but you could come and live in my house. And he and I stayed in the same room and slept in twin beds. And so we got along really well, and he was so different. I never met anyone like him. And one day, we just realized that we'd fallen in love. Well, my family didn't know about Sonny. I told them I was living with a stewardess. And so when they actually did find out about him, they weren't really happy. But my mother's therapist said, if you try to, you know, tear her away from him, it'll just become more, and if you just let it go, it'll just be a whim and she'll get over it. In spite of herself, she really did like him, and in later years, they got really close. This is the first present, actually, that Sonny ever gave me, and it was a ring that had emerald crystals. And I thought it was the crown jewels. I thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I actually never took it off. I put it on, and after that, I really didn't take it off. When I met Son, he was working at a record distributor, and he landed Phil Spector as a client for the company. And Philip was huge at that time. I mean, Philip was like the wonder boy. So one day, Son called, and he said, I'm leaving the office. I'm going to come by and honk, lean out the window. So I went to the window, and I saw Son, and instead of being in his Monza, he was in a car just like this Cadillac here, and he was sitting there, he had his arm sticking out of the driver's side, you know, and he looked up at me and he went, hey, Cher, like that. And he was so thrilled, and I knew that this was more than a car for him. This was a symbol that his luck was starting to change. So Son went from promoting records for Phil Spector to becoming his right-hand man. He loved the business so much, and he wanted to learn everything that he could learn about producing from Philip. In a short time, he went from getting coffee to playing percussion to singing backup. The first time I was ever at a studio, it was at Gold Star, Studio A, and I was 16 years old. I was waiting with Son, Phil Spector was a producer, and one of the girls got a flat tire, and so Philip said, you know, Sonny says you can sing, just get in there. And I was terrified. I mean, I was absolutely terrified. I was trying to qualify, like, what I thought my singing potential was. And he said, look, I just need some noise, just get in there. We sang background for a year, and then Son decided that we should just go out on our own and sing.
Until I met her, it sounds very corny, but something came together when we came together.
And what was it that he gave you?
He said, you can sing. You can sing. And I got up and sang. Sonny had this cute little Caesar-style haircut, and he thought that I looked like Cleopatra, so we started singing as Caesar and Cleo. We played bowling alleys and roller skating rinks, but Caesar and Cleo were short-lived because once we went to a gig in Oakland, and on the way there, the airlines lost our luggage. And so we decided to go on in our street clothes. Sonny wore his bobcat, I wore my bell-bottom, and the kids went crazy. And that night, I guess, was the night we decided to be ourselves, Sonny and Cher.
What am I supposed to weigh for my height?
110.
Look under men, Cher.
They don't have your height under men. These are some of the costumes that Son and I wore in our show, but in the beginning, we made our own clothes. I would drop the design, and I'd buy the material, and then these two girls who lived in our basement would sew them up for us. I actually had the idea for this design in a dream. And then one day, Son and I were driving down the street, and I saw this fur blowing in the wind, and I said, Son, back up. And this bobcat vest became his signature look.
The way we dress, they like the fact that we wear colorful clothes, and we do too. You know, that's us, and that was really us.
Clothes definitely helped us get noticed. When we went to London for the first time, I wore my very best creation, a salute to the Union Jack, I call this outfit. But unfortunately, it got us kicked out of the London Hilton. Well, not exactly kicked out, they just refused to let us in. But we got a huge amount of publicity out of it. We made headlines, and our record went to #1. In our daily life, we started dressing in this very eclectic way. But you also have to realize that nobody dressed like that. I mean, the Beatles were in the little hairdos and little round-collared jackets, and everyone was very neat. It was, Doris Day was, you know, still kind of a big influence, you know.
Sonny and Cher are singers, but here's something you won't often see. Watch them dance. One of the main attractions of this team is the clothes they wear. Their dress is distinctively unique and exclusively designed. But I've seen them at very elegant affairs, and they stand out from the crowd.
We looked so different, and sometimes people just had the strangest reactions to us. We used to go to this restaurant called Martoni's, and it was the big kind of record hangout. So this huge guy wanted to get in this fight with Sonny this one night, and even though Mario and Tony were our friends, they asked us to leave and not to come back. And it was really awful. I mean, it really hurt both of us. Sonny went home and wrote this song called Laugh at Me, and he recorded it the next day, and the next day it was on the air. Son always said that he wasn't a really great singer. The only thing that he was really great at, naturally, was writing. When he wrote Baby Don't Go, the only thing he could find to write on was shirt cardboard. So after that, he was superstitious, so he would only write on shirt cardboards. Either that side or that side actually didn't make any difference.
The last time I was on Hullabaloo was about 3 months ago. And I had never heard of our next guest. In fact, very few people had ever heard of Mr. and Mrs. Salvador Bona. But now, all of a sudden, they have 5 big hits. Records in the top 50.
The next 2 stars of the 20th century.
Middle of this year. And that was basically how I Got You, Babe got started. We got this offer to do Ed Sullivan, and when I was growing up, I remember seeing Elvis on Ed Sullivan. I remember seeing I was completely petrified, but I think Sonny was for the first time too, really petrified. Laugh at me. It doesn't happen very often, but we had 5 songs in the top 20 at the same time. The only other artists to do that were Elvis and the Beatles. We even knocked the Beatles out of first place. But Sonny knew that we couldn't stay up there forever, so he had this idea to do a movie like A Hard Day's Night. And that movie turned out to be Good Times. Good Times was a spoof on all the old Hollywood movies like Tarzan and Maltese Falcon and High Noon. I wasn't very good at it, but Son was terrific.
Sure, I got it. I'm king of the jungle.
Boy, are you clumsy. That's the 4th time today.
So I lost my balance.
The name's Pizzicato. Johnny Pizzicato, Private Eye. Who let you in, mister?
I came here to warn you, but what if the Ruthians killers followed me? You'll be here any second. What do you think?
I think you ought to knock next time you come through that door.
And it took such a long time to come out that when it came out, we were no longer popular, so nobody went to see it.
Dance and sing and raise your glass. Drink to the good times and hold my friend and then.
Unfortunately, the good times didn't last, and then things got worse. So now we owe the IRS $250,000, and we hit the road. We were going to play all these horrible places. I didn't know, thank God, that we were going to play all these horrible places, but I soon found out. And Sonny kept saying to me, you know, just give me two years, and I promise you we'll be back on top. He was very optimistic, and he had a lot of energy in that way, and I guess, and believing in us. You know, he had a great belief in Sonny and Cher.
Goes down. Can't stop me tonight. I am so hot, I feel like there's more than one of me.
Just think, if there were 7, I could be Snow White. The head of the network saw our act in New York, and he loved us. CBS then decided to give us a summer replacement show. Now, Sonny and I didn't know what we were doing. We were completely terrified, but there wasn't really time to be terrified. I think our first guest on the Sonny and Cher show was Jimmy Durante. It was a nose show.
Off with his head.
No, Father, no! No. I want to marry him. Spare his life, and we'll give you grandsons, many grandsons.
How do I know you can deliver?
Down, John, down. You know the monologues that we used to do at the top of the show? Well, Sonny and I had developed those monologues long before there was a Sonny and Cher show. It started when we were down and out. We started playing these really horrible pit hotels and restaurants. And we had no act. Actually, we had no audience. And so we started doing these jokes for the band.
Folks, I don't know if you know this, but I have a very tough job up here. It's called, well, I humbly say it's called carrying the show. And what it is I do the talking. So, you know, if you think that's easy, why don't you just talk and I'll stand here and look away. look a little bored. I'm here a little bit, and if somebody can lend me a big nose, we can get started. There's more to getting into shape than meets the eye. There is. Actually,
I guess so.
would you like a surprise?
You got one? If you got one, I'm surprised.
You know how stupid you think I am?
Yeah, I know how stupid I think you are.
No, I said that wrong.
You know how stupid you think I think you are?
Yeah.
We'll double it.
But I think my favorite parts were doing the sketches, and we did so many stupid ones, and they were all really hysterical. Sonny playing Superman. He did everything.
Fantastic, and we...
Swish! 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 Yeah! The only thing that bothers me, one item only can get me. Kryptonite, so you can't get me, Lois. But you know why? You don't have any kryptonite. And that's the only thing that can affect me, Lois, is kryptonite. Nothing bothers the big S. You get it? Huh? Huh?
The Vamp was really one of my favorite ones, when he played the preacher and I played Sadie Thompson.
Like that, a strike, and I don't even own a bowling ball.
See what I think it means? Yes, sweetheart. I'm knitting us a baby.
What's everybody whispering about? Tinkerbell, come here, darling. Tinkerbell.
How do you do? I'm fat.
I used to be.
Hello. I mean, understand this. Understand this.
All right.
You understand it?
If you say it, I'll understand.
John and I are really seeing each other. I mean, we're really seeing each other, you know?
Yeah!
Well, I really like Sonny and Cher. Especially Sonny.
But until that time, they'll have to blow their mind.
Gold! I've got gold nuggets! In this kind of weather, everybody gets cold nuggets.
It ain't us that's gonna
Hi, Chas.
lose this fight.
I wonder what she's gonna give Sonny this year.
Last year, she gave him the shaft.
Oh, Burnett.
ever known, but you're my idol.
So we had the series, and we had Chas. Now, Chas loved to come down, and she'd like to do her work, right? But Sonny said, no, I think she should play with other children. She didn't like children. What she wanted to do was she wanted to come down, she wanted to get her costume fitting, she wanted to play with all the fellas. So basically, we raised her on TV.
You know, the 60s were very lucky for Cher and me. We were lucky enough to have several hits, as well as a couple lucky breaks.
And the luckiest break we ever had came on March the 4th, 1969. It was called Chastity Bono.
Yes, it was. Hey.
Son was a terrific father. I mean, when we had Chas, I was terrified. And he used to, like, be making pasta in one hand and have her in the other. And he was great. I mean, he would make up stories. He'd make up characters, Ogleby and the Good Princess Garbage. And she knew that he was a little bit strange, and he had this really weird sense of humor.
Don't say anything. Either say, come here, Dad, give me a kiss, or pull the cord. But you got your choice. Now, you can be a good little angel, or you can be a naughty little devil. Now, don't... I want to be a naughty. Wait. Now's the time.
Good night, everybody. God bless you.
All right. You look great.
Thank
you. You really look super.
Thank you.
Only one thing wrong with you. Not Italian.
Thank God for small favors.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being Italian. I mean,
Well, if you're a girl, you got to have a mustache.
The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour ran for 3.5 years. And after we broke up, he had his own show, and I had my own show.
It's the Sonny Comedy Review.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sonny Bono.
From Television City in Hollywood, CBS presents Cher.
We were still close, though, because we went out on the road together for about 1.5 years after that. We still got along. I mean, we lived together in the same house for a year, and we weren't together. But, you know, we still got along really well. I mean, that's the strange thing about the relationship, is because it was kind of like brother and sister and husband and wife and father and daughter, and it was so many relationships wrapped up into one. After the first year of my show, our ratings really plunged, and I wasn't having any fun, and so I just asked Son if he would come back, because it was easier with him there than it was trying to fight this whole thing on my own.
Sonny and Cher are going to be back together again, starting on the network February 1st, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock.
Well, maybe I didn't beg him to come back. No, I did. I begged him to come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, together again for the first time, Sonny and Cher.
Well, folks, well, I don't know if any of you heard about it, but see, Cher and I aren't married anymore.
Oh, you mean you haven't heard? No, it's true. Yeah, no. But now for the good news. We're back.
You know what's dynamite about this dress? I don't see any panty lines.
What are you doing, taking inventory?
Are you, I was just wondering if you were wearing those seamless panties I've been reading about on TV.
You read TV? No, not my nose.
Why? You always liked me to rub your nose. When we'd come home at night and get in bed alone, you used to say, Sonny, I'd say, what? You'd say, rub my nose.
I guess the toughest time for me was right before we split up. I imagine that for Son, it was right afterwards, or when the Sonny and Cher show actually broke up for good. You know, I think that was really hard for him. Taking that last walk, all I could think about was, who's going to take care of me now? We remained friends. Son went into the restaurant business, and I got serious about my acting. It would be 10 years before we performed together again. The last time I performed with Sonny was on David Letterman, and I thought it would be a great thing to have Sonny on. I just thought it would be fun.
Remember the day you invited me to the beach and you came running down the hallway? This was so awful, it broke my heart. You came running down, you were in love with Melissa. You came running down the hallway, and I stepped out of the bathing suit, and he was like, oh, all right, I guess you could come along, come along.
You know what, it was like no time had passed, and we were just, you know, back in it. Like, we just could hit stride immediately.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part.
Then someone had the idea, well, I know it was David Letterman had the idea to do I Got You, Babe.
Okay, now what do you think? You want to try a little of this now?
And I didn't want to do it, and of course they did that whole thing with the audience. Oh, come on, don't you want to hear it? Don't you want to hear it? No, and I don't remember it. And they said, come on, and so of course we did it. I felt really good that we hadn't lost that thing that we had. I thought that was great. And also, it was really fun to be back and doing that thing, you know, because I don't do it with anybody else. I only did it with him. And it started off to be really great, but then people were crying everywhere. You know, Mary was crying, Chassie was crying, Pages were crying, you know, the audience was crying. So it was a little bit hard for me when everyone started getting so emotional. Son had always been a strong one for me, but by the end of this song, I realized that for the first time, I felt I had to be the strong one for him. I know that people have an idea of what we were and what we meant to each other, but I don't think it's exactly, I don't think it's enough. I don't think people knew enough. I mean, they saw it as a show, and they saw it as business, and they saw it as popular, but I don't think that they could know enough about what we meant to each other. And I think that if it was reversed, that Sonny would be sitting here, you know, doing the same thing.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land of many things, fools and kings. This he said to me, the greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Then one day, the magic boy, he passed my way. And though we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me, the greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
It was impossible for me. I mean, from the moment I heard it, it was just, you know, it was too hard for me to hear because it was just too devastating. When I got to Palm Springs, it didn't occur to me that they were going to ask me to, you know, to make the eulogy. So then I got really nervous about what it was going to be like, and I kept asking Chassie, I kept saying, Chass, what if I get up there and I just am hysterical and I can't say all the things I want to say? And Chassie said, Mom, you're a professional. When you get up there, it'll all come to you and you'll just do what you have to do.
I wanted to tell Mary and Chessie and Gianna how proud I am of what he made himself after we were separated and his accomplishments. And I know that a person just doesn't decide to become a congressman in the middle of their life and then be one, but it's so typically Sonny to do something so crazy like that. And also it puts me at peace to know that, you know, in the end of his days that he had such a wonderful family life, and I know how much he loved Mary and Ched and Gianna, and I know how much they loved him. And also I know how much he loved his friends. He was the greatest friend. The last thing I want to say is, when I was young, there was this section in the Reader's Digest, and it was called The Most Unforgettable Character I've Ever Met. And for me, that person is Sonny Bono.
And no matter how long I live or who I meet in my life, that person will always be son for me.
How is it tonight? What do you think? Huh? It affects your mother the same way. I just win all the time.
I guess that's so we don't have a pot. But at least I'm sure of all the things that we got. Babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. God bless you.
I told you about the new Sonny and Cher movie that's being made for television with the blessings of Sonny's widow, Mary Bono. But another of Sonny's former wives is not pleased about the project. And Cher sat down on her new movie set to tell us why.
I don't think Sonny and Cher should be done for TV. I don't like it. I would never have anything to do with it.
A controversial TV movie will tell the story of her life with Sonny Bono, but Cher won't be watching. The legendary diva gave E.T. an exclusive interview in Rome on the set of her upcoming feature film, and she said she fears the Sonny and Cher project won't represent her side fairly because it's based on Sonny's autobiography.
I don't think it's right. I don't think that particular thing is right. I think when Sonny wrote that book, he was still really angry. And also, my daughter read the book and said, don't read it. It's full of so many inaccurate things that you wouldn't want to read it.
She was shaking with sheer terror. It was awful.
That's because you were coming to bed.
The movie will chronicle the couple's rise to fame and eventual breakup. And executive producer Larry Thompson insists it will be an honest depiction made with the cooperation of Sonny's widow, Mary Bono.
She will be a consultant with us, and she wants it to be good, as we want it to be good. She wants it to be accurate. We want it to be accurate.
Thompson invited Cher to contribute to the movie, but the actress declined, insisting the story of her romance with Sonny is too wild for network television.
You can't tell the real story and be in the confines of those kind of censors and stuff like that. It doesn't come under that heading.
Despite her opposition to the TV movie, Cher would support a dramatic retelling of her life story with Sonny, but only for the big screen.
I would do it as a film, because Sonny and I were really visual, you know, and I would do it as a real film, but not some, you know, cut rate, you know, dime store version.
And as for who could play the 70s duo, Cher believes a nationwide search will turn up the right actors.
It's so strange. Not long ago, I was watching a movie, and I looked at the actor, and I thought, you know what? He doesn't look like it now, but his face reminds me of Sonny.
And the beat goes on. The Sonny and Cher story is set to air on ABC next year. That new movie Cher is making in Rome, Tea with Mussolini, is due out next year as well. And we'll be right back.
After years off-screen and after the tragic death of Sonny Bono, Cher has returned to a leading film role. Now Cher sits down to talk with E.T. about Sonny, her tattoos, and the movies in this E.T. First.
Action. Does my stupid butler think that I'm wintering in Monte Carlo, for God's sake?
After too many years, Cher is back on a big screen set in front of the cameras. But in her new film, Tea with Mussolini, we caught her on a day when she was definitely dressed down.
In this particular film, I look great all the time, except now.
May I?
Yes, go ahead, sweetheart.
Set in the 1930s, Cher plays an American living in dangerous pre-World War II Italy during Mussolini's fascist regime. Cher says despite time away from movie making, she feels right at home.
I think it's like riding a bicycle. It doesn't mean that you do it as well, but you kind of just do it.
The movie often calls for Cher to lose her cool, and she admits that's a trait she shares with her character, in a way.
She's very quick to be angry and then very quick to cool down. I'm very long to be angry and very long to cool down.
One thing steaming Cher right now is the upcoming TV movie about Sonny and Cher based on Sonny's autobiography. She says if she were to document her life, it would play on the big screen.
Oh, I would do it as a film, because Sonny and I were really visual, you know, and I would do it as a real film, but not some, you know, cut rate, you know, dime store version.
Cher rarely pulls her punches and still makes news with her every move. Now she's decided to get rid of one of her trademarks, her tattoos.
No, it's not painful at all. It's done with a laser, and they put a numbing cream on it, and it takes like 2 seconds. I've had it with them, you know. I mean, I did it at a time where no one did it, and so it had a much more of a meaning for me. I've had them for so many years, and so right now, I just think they're silly.
Cher's Tea with Mussolini also stars Joan Plowright, Maggie Smith, Judi Dench, and Lily Tomlin. Look for it in theaters in December.
Roma Downey.
Even with the loss of her former husband and partner, Sonny Bono, earlier this year, Cher is moving forward. She has returned to the big screen with work on a new film, and she has returned to singing with a brand new album that's sure to shake up the music business. Right now, we have your first listen to new tunes from Cher. Pop diva Cher has a new techno sound for her latest single, Believe, which has just been released in Britain. The new CD comes on the heels of filming a new movie in Europe, Tea with Mussolini.
Does my stupid butler think that I'm wintering in Monte Carlo, for God's sake?
In the film, Cher is caught up in dangerous pre-World War II Italy, and her return to the big screen may be like her approach to music. Just go for it.
I kind of had to jump in feet first on this film, you know. I mean, I don't know if it'll be good, but you know, we'll see what happens.
But singing was Cher's first love, so it seems fitting that Believe is dedicated to the memory of the man who started her legendary career, Sonny Bono. And it's her first release in 2 years.
It's a good enough record that if the timing's right, it could be a hit.
Cher's first single, titled Believe, from the new album of the same name, hit stores nationwide 3 weeks from today.
From